Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Disloyal Order podcast. Thank you so much for the feedback and interaction with our first episode.
And fuck you to the guy that called us pussies.
Wait, what? Who called us pussies? We're 10 seconds in. What? Who called us a pussy?
If you're back, get out. We don't need your view.
Who called us a pussy?
I've been getting loads of mean comments on one of our TikToks.
Oh, which one?
The one about the Black Sabbath lineup. We're on TikTok, by the way.
That one went pretty viral.
I had someone comment on a short I uploaded on the YouTube channel, not from the podcast, but from an interview I did, talking about Birmingham as the home of metal, and someone was like, actually, Sheffield is the home of metal, and I was like, actually, you can go fuck yourself, because you're wrong.
Sheffield does have a wicked metal scene, but Birmingham did birth a lot of incredible bands.
So I got rattled, but it's all right.
But thank you, everyone else who's been really lovely. How have you been? Because I haven't spoken to you too much in the month in between podcasts.
Not outside of podcast talk, not really. I've been good. It's my birthday tomorrow. Or when this comes out, it was my birthday a couple of days ago.
Happy early birthday.
How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm getting ready because I've got a gig in Birmingham on the 10th, and I'm coming up to see you guys and everything. Be lovely. Just been so unbelievably busy. I've only got a few topics. And by that I mean 2.5, but I did do the Shakespeare word thing.
I'm ready.
Which people seemed to love last time, which was a lot of fun.
I've got a few topics, but none of them are huge.
Okay, I think that's good. Maybe hopefully we'll get as much TikTok or YouTube hate then off just like 2 random topics.
Well, that being said, one of my topics is the new Sleep Token song, so we'll see.
I haven't listened to it.
So. Okay, then strike it off the list. Don't worry about it. There is a review on the site if you do want to read what I thought about that song.
I did look at the review. Did you post it to Instagram? Like
Probably.
The link to the review. I think I read it. I'm a good friend, I promise.
So what's on your list? Start me off. You're 2.5.
Oh, okay. Let's start off very casual because I looked at my first thing. I went, oh, that's loaded. So I actually do have one loaded one.
Okay, all right.
It feels a bit deja vu because we were kind of talking about this with the download lineup, but I wanted to talk about the Glastonbury lineup.
Okay, yes.
And the amount of interesting takes people have had and some of the funny comments I've also seen.
Okay, yeah, all right. So the Glastonbury lineup, I'm a massive fan of it. I think it's great.
The thing is, though, I don't think it's bad. I think, like I said last episode, people need to get over themselves. If you don't want to go... Also, it's impossible to go to Glastonbury anyway. I don't know how people get tickets.
Yeah.
You got to live nearby or know a guy.
People were complaining and they were like, this lineup sucks. There's no one I want to see on it. And I'm like, you don't have tickets to it. You were never going to go. Whether it was the best lineup you've ever seen, you were never going to go. I guarantee you don't have tickets to it.
I think people have been too quick to, again, throw shade at the lineup because, people are saying, oh, it's not who I want to see. And I'm like, the people that are headlining are massive. And I think are deserving of headlining it. And also, it's a massive festival. There are so many other people on the lineup you can go see of like so many different genres.
Well, it's like, I'm just going to grab up the lineup real quick. So I thought it was great.
Go for it.
I think it's the same thing with like Reading and Leeds Festival where people are like, oh, it's not a rock festival anymore. I'm like, it's always just been popular music.
Yeah, Glastonbury is just Glastonbury is just the biggest artists headline Glastonbury. Granted, back in the day, it was smaller, but obviously it just builds and builds and builds.
Because there was one thing I saw in it that I thought was quite, I don't know, it's just surreal and it really says like how massive Glastonbury is. One
thing I did see on a comment on the lineup, which I found really funny, is someone said, I've got tickets and I don't like the lineup, but I'm not going to sell them because I don't go see the acts anyway. Because they said Glastonbury is so massive and there's so much to do that they rarely actually go see the music. They say,
really?
we just get really drunk and go do all the activities.
Fair. Valid. And you know what?
I was like...
Yeah. The thing I noticed, it was just something I talked about for a bit, was that how like low down on the lineup like Weezer are on the Saturday. I think it's so funny. I'm like, man, they're second to last on that list.
That's crazy.
It actually might be in. No, it's not in.
Is it not in alphabetical order?
Oh, it might be in alphabetical order, but they're still like early on in the day. They're not one of the like top-ish first, second stage.
The top
and
guys.
I was just like, that must be so humbling.
True, but also I think it's just the case of like.
There's bigger
people that love Weezer. There's really massive people on, and the people that love Weezer will all go see Weezer, and it will be a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
So if anything, it probably will be better than them playing main stage or anything like that.
100%. I thought it just spoke loads about just how huge Glastonbury is. I was like, God, there are some big acts on it that are proper far down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously the main thing I saw was the 1975 headlining, and people either absolutely loving it or absolutely hating it.
Yeah.
I think obviously they're quite a Marmite band. I've seen them live a couple times.
They're good.
I think their Reading headline set they did
2019,
was absolutely incredible.
It was crazy.
No idea what to expect. I had no idea what to expect. They sounded brilliant. The performance was amazing, and the crowd was actually okay. So I was like, and they are massive, and they are from the UK, which is quite nice. Also, considering it's UK festival.
Yeah, defo.
I was like, that's pretty wicked.
I also saw a lot of older men complaining that Olivia Rodrigo was on there, and we saw a comment that was like, oh, she'll have her 5 minutes of fame then. I was like, honey, I don't think you realise. Right? I was like, I don't think you realise how massive she is. She was on Disney Channel before that, and she's only, like 21, 22? I was like, sweetie, she has done more in her life than you'll probably ever. And I said, I'm not trying to be me, than I'll probably ever do. Do you know what I mean? She's
completely.
Massive.
I was going to say it makes me feel depressed because it's like I don't consider myself that old. I am only 23, but also it's like Olivia Rodrigo's 21, and I just see the billions.
Yeah, and you're like
billions. That's good, and I'm just like, it's okay. It's fine.
I'm not an American white woman. It's fine.
But I think like. If you put her on any other stage or any lower, it would be horrifically crowded. It just reminds me of that one year when Billie Eilish just blew up, and she was supposed to be playing like a Radio 1 stage or something at Reading, and they had to move her to main stage at like 4 o'clock or whatever, and it was heaving. It was horrific. She should have been higher, just because of it's not only because of how big they are, but I also think it's a safety thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I think it's deserving. I thought, let's start it nice, little Glastonbury lineup chat. But I think I'd be more than happy to go. And like I said, and like that comment I said, if there isn't an act on you want to see or don't like the headliner,
you can do anything else.
So many things. I saw there's a group on YouTube called TPD TV. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're aware of them. Yeah, they do a lot of festival content. I followed them for a while. And they did Glastonbury, and they were like, there isn't anyone we want to see on for the first 3/4 of the day. They went and made their own like rings. There was like a ring making station where you like had to ham. They made their own rings. They went to like this seaside makeshift village, because there's so many different villages and things. They went and sat on the hill. They went to like, there was like pop-up bars, and there was someone doing like acoustic covers in the bar. Nice. And this is all within Glastonbury.
That's sick.
I'd highly recommend their Glastonbury video. It was a great insight into like what it actually was like.
Because I think there's quite a lot of, I don't want to say stigma, it's not the right word, but there's like a preconceived idea on what Glastonbury is, where it's like really middle class families that take their 2-year-old and everyone's weaving a dress out of
that's
wheat.
Isle of Wight Festival. That's Isle of Wight Festival.
Is it? Oh.
No, I love you, Isle of Wight Fest. We almost got a chance to play it, but our demographic is that middle-aged white mum with the kids.
I know the Polygons are my mum's favourite band, so
exactly,
it's true.
We hit our demographic.
Exactly. I think there's just like this kind of idea that it's like a really, I don't know. I don't want to say a wanky festival, but I feel like it's like my parents
going Glasgow.
That's what my parents always like when I'm like, oh, I'm going to Download Festival, and they're like, oh, are you going to have a spliff and then and take some shrooms and then really find yourself like a Download. And I'm like, Download's not Glastonbury. And they're like, all men music festivals are like Glastonbury. And I'm like, oh.
No, you never been to Outbreak Fest, dude.
No, I'm going to get absolutely hammered and get concussed in a mosh pit. That's actually
Hell yeah, dude. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're on about.
I have a curse where I will get injured at any festival I go to.
At any festival?
Yeah.
What happened at the last festival you were at then? Where did you go and what was the injury?
Actually, tell a lie. So the last festival I was at was Download Festival. It's the only one I haven't had a medical emergency at. Good for me.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. But then the Download before that, I got heat stroke. And the slam dunk of that year, 2023, I got concussed. And Reading 2019, I had appendicitis the whole weekend and didn't know. And Reading 2018, I got so drunk, I was horrifically like throwing up for ever. It felt like forever.
Well, that's a you problem because that's self-induced. The others you could have off.
Okay. It was so funny with the appendicitis one because I was like, my period cramps are like really bad.
God, they're
sucks. Like proper bad. And then I went to the medical tent at Reading and I was like, yeah, so my like prescription painkillers aren't working. Like, what should I do about it? And they were like, oh, have some fucking codeine.
Cocaine.
Like, they were like, have some codeine. I was like, great, thanks. Didn't tell me like how much to take or like when to take it. There was no packaging. It was like a drug dealer. If you've ever been to the Reading medical tent, they just gave me the pack
funny,
and I was
like a
like,
little pop up.
Oh, it was horrific. They just gave me a pack and I was like, great. And I was popping them like Tic Tacs and also drinking, which you're apparently not meant to do. So I was like fucked off my face, Reading 2019. And then I got back, went to a party and I was like drinking. And I was like, oh, like, fuck, I still feel really bad. And I was at a mate's house like an hour and a half from home and then just threw up. And then I was just like, you know, I think I need to go home. And I went home. My mum called the doctor the next day and they were like, take her to the hospital. Take her to the hospital right now. Don't eat anything. We're going to have to cut you open. I was like, oh my God.
How crazy is that, though, that you were like, oh, this is just really bad period pain.
Shocking. And they were like, what have you been up to this weekend? I was like, I was at Reading.
What's that festival?
You know, and they were like, have you drank anything, taken any drugs? I was like, yeah.
Yes, I have.
And they were like, is there any chance you could be pregnant? Yes. I was like, you know...
Maybe.
Who knows? And then at Slam Dunk, when I got concussed, I was in like a wargasm pit and I got pushed onto the back of this guy who like stepped back. So I just fell and I smacked my head literally on that like 1 foot big metal covering that goes over the wires down the center of the thing.
Yeah.
I was like, if this was grass, it wouldn't be so bad. And I remember waking up and like my boyfriend was there, not in the pit, obviously. So if you know him, he's a wuss. And I looked up at Milky Way and we made eye contact and I was just like, where the fuck am I? I was like, where the fuck am I?
What's going on?
And apparently I kept saying to my boyfriend, I was like, I'm ruining it. I'm ruining our time at Download Festival. And he was like, we're at Slam Dunk, sweetie. And I was like, I'm ruining my time at Download Festival. I
was just about to correct you. I go, do you mean Slam Dunk?
I did. It was not a good time. I don't remember that whole day. I saw Under Oath. I've never seen him since, and I don't remember it.
I'm lucky that I have not endured any serious pain at festival. Mainly just the most pain I've ever got is just like cramp because you're walking everywhere or wet feet.
Oh, wet feet.
I got a stitch. Yeah, wet feet.
That could be worse than when I had appendicitis.
Could be. Moist toes.
God forbid you got like fluffy socks on. And all the hairs are getting in between your toes. I want to move swiftly on from this conversation.
What have you got on your list? What did you want to chat about?
I've got a bit of a silly one. It's not much to talk about. I just thought it was a fun fact for the group. I found out, apparently this is common knowledge, I don't know. I found out this month that, are you familiar with Jennifer's Body? The hit.
I am aware. Yeah.
With Megan Fox and the chick from Mean Girls and Mamma Mia.
Yes.
So you know the band in Jennifer's Body. The lead singer of that band was meant to be played by Pete Wentz, and I am so mad that we didn't get that.
That's crazy. Does Panic at the Disco have a song for that?
Yeah,
film,
they've got,
New Perspective.
Yeah.
Stop there,
and in the film, there's loads of Fall Out Boy posters in Jennifer's room, and I was just like, if Pete Wentz could have just. That would have been my favourite film of all time. I thought that was mad. Fun fact that I learned.
Trust you to come out with the Fall Out Boy fun fact for the day.
Indeed, that's what I'm good for. I got more where that came
that's what
from.
you're here for. No, thank you. One per episode. You're limited to one per episode.
Otherwise, we've got just a load of like singles that came out. We had new Sleep Token single, new Yungblud, Hot Milk, and we had the Spirit Box album. Like, just loads of stuff came out this month. It's been quite stressful.
I agree. I do actually have in brackets here the new Yungblud song, and also the new song, spelled NU, by a band called Bloodywood. Do you know of them?
I've heard of them. I need to get into them.
They're wicked because they're from, I'm pretty sure, I'm so sorry if this is incorrect, but they're from New Delhi. And they fuse a lot of like traditional like Indian instruments with heavy metal.
That's sick.
And their new song, I've been keeping an eye on them for a couple years because they are just so cool. They're wicked. And I saw something which spurred on this topic, which was metal music can be mixed with any genre.
Yeah.
And it work.
Yeah, I almost don't want to say their name because they've blocked me on Instagram, but the band that's always at Download. Don't make me do it.
The band that's always at Download.
It.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just
but
censor
then,
it.
Unblock me on Instagram. I didn't do anything.
Didn't you call him out or something?
I called him out because his behaviour wasn't good and I got blocked, so I'm censoring their name. You don't get any promo. I'm sure they're going to miss this 30 views that they're going to get. But
yeah.
But yeah, like I love their music and they've got kind of like a fusion thing going on. And dare I say it? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it.
Oh, she dares not to. She dares not to. But I agree, because if you think about it, where it kind of all started is, I would say, the infusion of metal with other genres, and I could be completely wrong, is like where a lot of like rap rock started to get really popular, and obviously new metal. New metal was kind of just basically a term where it was like metal mixed with something else, normally hip hop, but it was other things as well. And I think Bloodywood do an absolutely fantastic job at mixing these traditional Indian instruments and their kind of music that is very traditionally played in India and popular over there with metal. And I think the Western metal scene just need to give them a chance, more of a chance than they're already giving them. Like, they're doing pretty well over here, but I don't want them to be a gimmick. To me, they're not a gimmick.
That's literally just like they've perfected that sound and that's the genre.
They've perfected it perfectly. And lots of people are like, you know, make jokes in the comments and they're really good about it and stuff. You know, none of it gets too risque. It's more just like tongue in cheek. But I think people just need to take that kind of stuff seriously, because it is just, the musicianship is incredible and they just do everything perfectly, and what they wear, you just need to look into them more. They're so good. What were some of the other songs that have been released that you were mentioning?
So we got the Hot Milk single, 90 Seconds to Midnight.
I like that one.
Heard really mixed reactions. I'm a fan of it. I think it's a lot more like punky than what they've usually gone for.
I wasn't a fan of their most recent EP album. I listened to it with I listened, is that the one with something
Horror Show?
No, what was their most recent EP album? It had like
Horror Show.
Would it have a song called Alice Cooper's
Horror
Full
Show.
House? Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan of that EP. Yeah, me and Teddy Bear, like it was good. I did really enjoy it, but it was a grower to me. However, this song came out and I instantly liked it. So when I said I didn't like the EP, that was very strong. I just meant I listened to it and went, I preferred a lot of their other stuff. This is left it, and lots of the songs grew for me, and I went, okay, I appreciate this, but this new song was released, and I instantly like this.
I like it. I'm a fan.
I mess with this. Yeah,
I do think.
Oh, I almost just got myself into shit with the Hot Milk fans.
I know.
I've seen them live a bunch. Of times. I think they're absolutely incredible. I love them so much.
Yeah, I was a fan of it. I think it's very them. I don't have much to say because I was just, again, I've got a review on the site. If you want to read it, I'll link it below. But I don't have loads to say because I just think it was just a solid release. It's been a bit controversial. I know people that haven't liked it because it's a bit different to their sound, but I was just like, yes, good. Makes my brain go brr.
Yeah, make my brain go brr. I'm all here for people trying out new sounds and experimenting with things. Otherwise, shit just gets boring.
Yeah.
Shit's just boring and so I do think you do need to stay, you don't have to, but I think it's lots of people can tell when you're not staying true to yourself. But speaking of people, I say trying different genres, but you mentioned Yungblud's new song. I disagree with people saying he's trying new genres because I used to go fucking watch him 7 years ago when he just started in front of no one. I'm that guy. Where I'm like, oh, I saw them before they were famous. I used to I watched Yungblud in venues no bigger than 200 people, when I was a teenager. And granted, it wasn't as classic rocky, but it was rocky, and they rocked stuff up live. This has always been within him.
I think it's less of the genre instrumentally, but I think the genre vocally has gone in a different direction with. I said in my review, since his covers with I Was Made for Loving You from the Fall Guy soundtrack.
Yeah.
Since then, that got a great reception because it's sick and it's awesome. And it feels like since then he's been this is something I can do. And the song, the middle of the song does feel retro. I'm this is old classic. It's not too complicated. The guitar solo's clean. It's nice. I love it. And vocally, it just feels like Motley Crue.
So I completely agree. When I speak about that song, I don't even think about the first bit and the last bit. I only think about the middle bit personally.
That's criminal.
Just because basically that middle section made way more of an impact than either side of it to me. The beginning of it is nice. It's good, but to me, it's 2.5 songs. It's one song, then a second song, and then an outro interlude thing. To me, it's a bit of a stretch calling it a 9-minute song. It is a 9-minute song, but Stairway to Heaven, Master of Puppets are 9-minute songs.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Granted there are change-ups and stuff, but to me that sounds like the same song. This does to me sound like 2 songs.
What would you call Bohemian Rhapsody?
Bohemian Rhapsody is a masterpiece.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I'm also not trying to compare Yungblud to Bohemian Rhapsody, just to make that clear. Just to make that clear. I'm not trying to.
I like this song, but it's not Bohemian Rhapsody.
I'm not a massive Yungblud fan, so I know you've been a fan of Yungblud for a bit. I like the odd song.
Yeah.
I kind of dipped in for Weird. And then kind of dip back out again. I was like, that's good.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I still only like half that album, plus a couple other songs. And, oh God, what was that single he released? When We Die, Can We Still Get High? Banger. Tune.
Okay, yeah.
Which doesn't feel like a song I'd like, but I'm love it. I'm going to cry. But this song, for some reason, I might be a Yungblud fan. In 2025, I might be turned. I really liked it.
I messaged Teddy Bear, also known as Nath, and when it came out, and I said I unironically fuck with this really hard. It was the case of when I was a teenager, I was a cringy Yungblud fan from the ages of
I remember.
God. Oh yeah, no, we remember. I was from the ages of 15. 16, maybe I was 16.
23 or
no. Basically, I remember when his first EP came out, and I loved that. Obviously, then his album 21st Century Liability, loved that. That was the era of Yungblud I was a fan of. Then Weird came out, and I went. Oh,
really?
Okay. I loved half the album. Like you said, I loved half the album. But to me, obviously there was Ice Cream Man, which was a song he'd been playing live for years.
Yeah.
And so many other great songs on that album personally. But half of it felt like a bit disconjointed to me. The pinnacle of me liking Yungblud was when Loner came out. Like, that song, like, I fucking love that song. And then I call it post-Halsey Yungblud. So after he got with Halsey and shit, and then all the kind of songs that came after that, and I grew up and I didn't feel like I grew up with him, and his music anymore. Like, I just didn't connect to it. I didn't connect to it as much anymore. But I always still kind of like had a listen, dipped in and out. I really kind of fucked with The Funeral, the song The Funeral, which has Ozzy Osbourne in the music video. It's a bit more classic rocky. Don't think it's the most incredible song ever, but when it comes on, I have a good little sing-along. But this gave me proper, like,
I got
something
goosebumps.
you can bite your teeth into. So did I. I got goosebumps at one point. I went, wow, Yungblud hasn't given me goosebumps since I was a teenager, which sounds dodgy.
Clipped.
But a Yungblud song hasn't, like, made me, like, I actually went, oh shit. I almost felt nostalgic. I felt like 16 again, seeing him in a small venue and like
cute.
elbowing people. So yeah, it was quite cool.
There's only ever been 3 songs that have given me goosebumps, and they still do. Like, every time I listen to them, I'll get goosebumps. And it's this Yungblud song, Hello Heaven Hello.
Yeah.
It's Slipping Through My Fingers by ABBA.
Oh,
for the guitar
I
bit.
love ABBA.
And then it's that one Bo Burnham song. Fuck.
Which one?
Fuck.
Is it off Inside?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Come on, Rosie, you've got this. Let's start naming them. I quite like the Jeffrey Bezos. I'm getting coffee and I'm getting a run. Round and down the orders now for everyone.
That Funny Feeling.
Oh.
Will give me goosebumps every time. And it's just those 3 songs. I'm like, how random. They're not even songs I particularly like love. They're just the only 3 songs that make me go, ooh.
I get goosebumps quite often when it comes to music, because if a guitar bit, or do you know what gives me goosebumps the most is like a chord change that you're not expecting, and it just hits and I'm just go, oh yeah.
Yeah, when it goes into like a minor, I'm like, ooh.
I think what started that for me is honestly the Beatles, because my grandpa used to play me the Beatles from such a young age, and they do a lot of that with those chord changes, and they just give me goosebumps. George Harrison, personally, I think executes those the best. I'm a George boy.
So, I don't know loads about the Beatles, I can't lie.
That's fine, I won't get into them. However, if you're seeing on this video, I have this vintage Japanese Beatles vinyl on my wall.
Oh, and we also had the Ghost single come out this month. So many singles.
Yeah.
I can't lie, I'm not the biggest Ghost fan. I've seen them live. It's all right. It's okay. But this single, I was like, you know what? They're taking my nachos.
I've only listened to it once. Like I said, I've been unbelievably busy this month. Before our first podcast, I hadn't released any YouTube videos, and I'm currently editing my 4th and 5th one, and 1, 2, and 3 are out, and an episode of a different podcast is out. So I've been so busy, and I quit my job, so I'm trying to earn money freelance. So I've just really been periodically dipping in and out, and I listened to the song once, and I went, yes, it sounds like Ghost, and then I kind of moved on.
It does sound like Ghost. I get it. It's not for everyone. I didn't think it was going to be for me, but I was like, yeah, you know what? It's all right. And that's all I have to say about that, pretty much.
Yeah, same. I love a concept. I like that Ghost have a whole theme and concept and stuff going on. I used to have a friend when I was a teenager who was massively into Ghost. I have a video of him playing a kazoo solo that he had learned, which the main guy from Ghost played on an acoustic version, just from when we were teenagers. That's how deep my mate was into, like, Ghost.
Right.
And so I knew a lot of their early stuff, but then when I kind of, like, me and him just, like, drifted apart, I stopped listening to them, just kind of periodically when they would come on. I've never disliked them, really, but I don't actively reach out to listen.
I think it's worth a listen, and if it's not for you, then fair enough.
Absolutely. You don't have to listen to it.
You don't have to listen to it.
Exactly. Don't have to go to the festival. You don't have to listen to it. Listen to what you want. Go see what you want.
And then really quickly, to round this off before we get into your deep thing. So Spirit Box released their album, Tsunami Sea. And there's a review for that on the website. I'm not going to talk about it. What I am going to talk about was Ronnie Radke slagging him off on Twitter. And most of it's usual Ronnie Radke shit, right? There was one tweet in particular. I can't quote it. I don't have it to hand. But he was like, these lyrics fucking suck. And I was like, imagine writing an album and Ronnie Radke says your lyrics suck.
I'm so scared because this is just going to get clipped and Ronnie Radke is going to be in a clip after going, look at these two fucking emos.
I fucking hope so.
They were talking about Yungblud. They can't give an opinion on fucking music.
Oh, and you know what? I'd actually respect him for that. But...
but it's the case of, like, Ronnie Radke, removing the person and how you think about him, is a talented musician.
Yes.
However... his early stuff, he cannot comment that the lyrics are bad.
His recent stuff, he cannot comment the lyrics are bad.
Yeah, I would say they're trying to be deep, and some of it's good, and like lyrically. But I'm talking like the early stuff. You're talking like, I met a girl and I really thought she liked me.
Yeah.
Like it was tongue in cheek back then, but I don't think they're bad on the new Spirit Box album.
No, I think it's solid. I think it's all right.
Yeah, vocals are fucking
I was like,
sick.
what a take to have when you're writing like, I'm cancelling. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Subified.
Oh god, like pipe down,
Okay,
bottom set GCSE English, please.
That was... Oh my god, to be fair, I forgot that song exists. Cancelling.
It's always at any point just playing in the back of my head. Just that bit.
He's gonna deep dive on the music I release now, and he's gonna
be like,
Ronnie,
I don't want to be a loser.
Oh, that song's not out. That song's not out anymore. It's removed from the ether.
No one's gonna know what I'm talking about. It's all right.
I'm pretty sure the only thing of that is like a video someone filmed of it and put it on YouTube. File. Oh god.
You know what? I might go to a vocal coach and learn to sing and then record that song and just claim it as my own. Because Nath will never admit it's his because he does not want his name attached to it. So fight me.
You don't think Nath and Teddy Bear haven't, like, Nath's got that copyright shit on lock for
even
everything.
better, I'll put it out as a cover and I'll be like, Teddy Bear cover. And then people will be like, Teddy Bear released a song. I'll be like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh god.
Or maybe I could just remix it. Oh my god, there's so many. I might do it as an April Fool's prank.
Nathan, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what atrocities. Oh, there's a gap in my hair. I'm so sorry for the atrocities Rosie's about to commit to the old music we put out. Our new stuff is so much better.
It is a lot better.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I will only admit that once. It is a lot better. But from here on out, Loose is the best thing you've released.
Your boyfriend just started following me? I just got an Instagram notification.
He just started following you?
It's probably my podcast account because I just followed him. I just thought it was funny.
Do you want to go on with your deep? I want to know what your deep. Go on.
Okay. So, last week we talked about gig etiquette.
You sound like my therapist.
Last week, Rosie, we talked about gig etiquette and about if you can, you should stay for all the acts you are able to. This week, kind of carrying on from that, not about the bands, but I wanted to talk about small promoting companies, specifically in London. Mm-hmm. Because I have permission to speak about this because I am never working with this company again and I'm about to put them on full blast.
We got a rundown of this drama llama on FaceTime. I know exactly what you're going to say, but please.
There is a promotion company called Underground Sound.
Oh, we're naming them.
I don't care. I'm never working with them again. I'm never working with them. You can put this out. Okay. I do not care. They are quite...
Can I say before you say this, just in case, my partner's band has no affiliation with any of the views that Sam says in this podcast.
They have been quite widely known to be one of the worst small promotion companies, especially in London. The communication that I had with them and everything, I deemed unprofessional, greedy, And there is some other promotion companies that I'm not going to name, but there are some that I've worked with in London that are amazing. And it does a lot of the time come down to the people. But if you search on TikTok, primarily TikTok, because people just like to post quick jabs or whatever, you will see the reputation in which they have. And there are a lot of other promotion companies in London that are like that. And I wanted to speak about it because not specifically just Underground Sound, sorry to put them on blast, but also it's quite a common thing that a lot of small artists and musicians hold, that if you're going to work with a promotion company, don't work with Underground Sound in London. We just did because it was a gig. We wanted to connect with more bands and stuff. The only thing they provided us with for promotion as a promotion company that is taking 80% of the ticket cost and giving the bands 20%, the only thing they provided us was with a ticket link to the gig but it was the wrong day and the ticket link didn't work. They didn't provide this. We had booked this gig 2.5 months in advance, didn't provide us with a poster, didn't provide us with a lineup just under 2 weeks before the gig happens, and would call us telling us we needed to sell more tickets, otherwise we're going to be kicked off the lineup. What lineup? There wasn't one. And this isn't the first time this has happened to a band. We then played a gig with 8 bands on it. And basically what it was an event where they had hired out a venue and they just went, well, we need to make as much money as we can. So they crammed as many bands of different genres. There wasn't a cohesion. Kind of rock was the cohesion, but there was lots of varying, just to try and sell as many tickets as possible. People were just coming in and out for the bands they wanted to see because no one's going to stay from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. to see all these bands. Like, my ears were ringing by the end. That's a lot of, it's a lot of stuff in a small enclosure, and it was warm. It didn't smell very nice. The venue was sick, though. The venue was sick. The Amersham Arms, shout out the Amersham Arms. They were lovely, and the staff was lovely. And the videographer that was working for Underground Sound, I cannot remember his name. It was European. Lovely, absolutely incredible man. Like I said, but as a company, lots of these promoter companies in London only want the money that small bands can potentially bring in by bringing their family and friends. It's even worse when they used to get the bands to buy 20 tickets. This isn't specifically Underground Sound. This is just promotion companies in London. The band would have to pre-buy 20 to 30 tickets and then sell them. And then if you didn't sell them, the band made the loss.
That's not good.
Exactly. So if you're in a small band, watch out for these promoting companies.
You also didn't know when your start time was.
No, and it changed 3 times on the day.
Because you had people that could come and then couldn't come, but actually could have come, and people that couldn't come and could come and then couldn't come, and it was just...
So many people went, oh, well, we would come if we knew when you guys were on, or if you if we knew more in advance. We didn't know in advance. It was crazy. But there are other promotion companies similar to this in London. I won't name names because I haven't worked with them, and I don't want to... I'm only talking from experience. I also work with a promotion company called Hotvox with my other band, and I have done with the Polygons and Teddy Bear as well. I've heard mixed opinions from Hotvox. I've only had good interactions with Hotvox. They do run off this promotion-based scheme similar to Underground Sound, but the people who work for Hotvox, especially a guy named Guy, are lovely, and there's incentive. The more tickets you sell, the more money of the ticket you get, to the point where we sold at one gig 130 tickets, and we were earning the percentage of the ticket, and the promotion company was earning the 40%, and we earned 60%. But what they actually did was promote. They promoted us, they posted us, they wrote things, they put our thing out on their mailing list.
You were on the radio?
Yeah. On their radio station and stuff. This is through Hotvox. So yeah, I just don't know if you've had any heard any stories. Obviously, you've heard this story from our friend.
Yes.
But if you've known anything, because being in a small band and being in the scene, it's hard. And when there's people like these promotion companies, underground sound, like this, basically ruining it for small artists.
Well, so my partner's in a band, and they had a gig about a month ago now.
They are wicked.
They had a promotion company that I'm actually not going to name because we're still in the middle of working it out, to be honest. But it's looking pretty shifty. Fair. And they're one of the biggest ones in Birmingham. They're pretty good. I've never known anyone to have an issue. But they sold, it was the same thing. You get a percentage of ticket sales. And they were like, hey, so you only sold 2 tickets. Here's the money. And my partner was like, well, my girlfriend got a ticket. My bassist's mum got a ticket. My bassist's 2 brothers got a ticket. Our cameraman got a ticket. Our cameraman's girlfriend got a ticket. And our drummer's parents got a ticket. So that's 8.
Yeah.
How did you lose 6 of the tickets? And they're like, sorry, you only sold 2. And he was like, well, we can verify that we sold 8. Because we physically know 8 people that bought a ticket. At least.
Minimum.
And he was like, plus, whoever else might have come and bought it from our thingy and said our name on the door. And he's like in the middle, and he's like, you need to give us 8 tickets worth of sales. And he was like, I can't prove how many tickets we sold after that. I really don't know. Only you have that data. But he was like, why are you lying? Why are you lying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even a lot of money, but it's just the principle. He's like, no, I know we sold 8 tickets, so hand it over. And it's still not resolved. So
exactly, it's a shame. I understand these kind of things are businesses, right? These things are businesses, and lots of the venues, especially after COVID, don't want to take a big risk. They know they have a guaranteed payment from these companies when they put on their events. And I think using these companies to your advantage to get in to a scene or into a city that you're not local to is great, and to connect with other bands. But just to let you know, some of them, I would say at least 50%, only really care about their company, which makes sense. They need to make money. That's their job. But try and find and speak and work with the 50% that do actually love local music. It's so different. Like when I've worked with a promotion company, it's like, oh, sorry, it's not the turnout you were looking for. You know, they were looking to try and sell 30 tickets an act, and we could only bring 18. Like, oh, sorry, it's not the thing you're looking for, trying to be polite. And they go, guys, don't worry. It's a Thursday. We understand. Thank you for bringing these kind of people. We really loved your show. You guys were very talented and really good. We want to try and book you for this other thing that might be a better opportunity. You know, these kind of promotion companies, it's like you scratch their back, they'll actually push you and give you what you deserve.
Because they can only benefit from you doing well.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole point of a promotion company. They'll promote you because if they are able to sell tickets, they get money.
Man, I feel like I could be a promotion company as a one-woman band. I could so do it. I'm organised. I promote. I could do social media. That's it. That's all I could do. But I could find someone to do that hard stuff, you know. Like,
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. I feel like I could do that. I should do that. I should so do that.
I apologise for the massive rant, but if anyone is watching that is in a small band, I just don't want. Time is so valuable, especially when you're in a band, because especially with all the social media and
if you're
stuff,
booking time off work to do gigs and
like this being in the band in the early stages is not financially viable. I have quit my job to do music and editing, and I am poorer than ever, but I am happier than ever. So, you know, I take that trade-off. But lots of these early gigs, especially these promote ones, are break-even gigs. You're not going to be racking it in. And even if you do rack it in, invest it back into your band. Mm-hmm. Buy better equipment, invest in some in-ears. Your drummer... But pay for a decal sticker to put on the drum kit,
or like,
you know,
merch or recording,
recording. Put it back into the band. Like in my band, the Polygons, we do all right with earning money because we play pub gigs as well to earn a bit of that cash on the side. We very rarely pay ourselves at the moment. We run on a break even, so we'll reimburse ourselves for petrol and food and accommodation if needed, and then all the extra money goes straight back into the band, and we have been able to buy inner units. We have our own speakers. We can put on our own events just from playing gigs and building it up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
If we were paying ourselves, we would not have any of this stuff. We bought ourselves our own microphones, invest back in your band. But sorry, diverting from that, it just needs to be said, because I could be silent and complicit and, but I will not work with this company again, and similar companies. I will work with other promotion companies before, because like I said, I have a great relationship with some. They're amazing people and really have the thoughts of their company and small bands in mind, which is what you need. But I just can't be silent and let small bands potentially work with this promoter or other bad promoters and just waste their money, waste their time, waste their effort, when they could be trying to put it into the other companies that might be a bit smaller. They might be a bit smaller. The venue might not be as big, but the people will be nicer, the bands will be better, and the lineup will actually come to you a week or more before the gig.
Are there any promoters you can give like a shout out to? Any proper?
Well, I give a shout out to Hotvox. Like I said, I've had mixed reactions. The people I've worked with have been lovely. They have paid us pretty fairly. They have given us good opportunities. This is in the polygons. There are a couple others. I can't really think of them right this second. If I remember any good ones, maybe we can pop in a little text of the ones that are good. I would say look for medium-sized ones. Even look or contact the venue yourself. Instead of going through a promoter, see what that small venue was, message the venue yourself, see if they have any gigs on in which they might be able to just chuck you on as the first support. That way it will be better curated. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my dome right now. Look at your small grassroots venues, see if they've got like open mic nights.
There's 2 shutting every month.
Exactly. Go and speak to people in person as well. I've had so many emails lost, and I've picked up a phone and called people, or gone in and spoken to someone, or handed someone a business card, and they like the human interaction can't be matched.
I was like throwing around the idea about a month ago. It's just logistically and monetary wise, I'm just working out how to do it, of holding in Birmingham like a networking event for just people in the music industry. So if you're in a band, you're a promoter, you're a music journalist, you're a mixer, or you have a recording studio, or like you literally do anything within the music industry, once a month we go to the pub on like a Thursday. We all meet, we all chat. If someone's like, I really want to be in a band, I play the bass, they go there and they're like, does anyone here need a bassist? And someone's like, we need a bassist. Are you free tomorrow to do a little thingy? And then you can kind of just like be like, oh, we've got this EP demoed, we really need it recorded. I have a recording studio. Here's my rates. When are you free? Give me your email. And like just doing stuff like that just to get, because at the moment, I don't know if it's the same like down south or in Brighton or London specifically, but in Birmingham, there's kind of like cliques of bands that all do shows together. Like I've seen, and don't get me wrong, there's one particular clique or group that are always on the same bill that is absolutely stacked, to be honest. Like I love all of them, so I can't complain. I think it's great. Yeah. But I think it's literally just because how do you meet other than like going to their gigs? But then you kind of got the awkward being like, hi, I'm also in a band. Can we follow each other and have like a... I think it's literally just like they stick with their friends, people they know, people they've gigged with before, when it would be good to like meet people in a casual environment and then branch out.
Absolutely, I completely agree. This is a thing that happens down here. To play devil's advocate to what I was just saying, those promoter nights, this Underground Sound one was terrible. However, met two I spoke to more, 2 lovely bands. One band, they were called Hell for Leather, Motley Crue, 80s style classic rock. Not really compared to like our band. They were the nicest guys, and they were incredible at their instruments and perfect at what they did. And they came and they watched us, and we watched them and we just supported each other. And so that's a contact that I've got now. Love them. There was another band called Orlando Freak, and I realised I knew the singer and guitar player from when I was a teenager. I played in a... And I was like, I didn't recognise him until he got off stage, and I'd been talking to him all day, and he didn't recognise me.
Okay, that's good. I was going to say, he recognised you, and this whole time he's like, when is he gonna...
No, he didn't. He went, my name's this, and I went, and his glasses had flown off, and I forgot about him wearing glasses, and I went, oh my God, and I literally got on stage after and I was like, mate, how are you doing? And he was like, oh my God. So these kind of events are great. I don't regret playing this event because I made some really great contacts. If you need to make contacts and you can take the L basically on the people and the money and stuff, then they are great places to make contacts. So these kind of things. But it is basically just going to gigs. We when we play in the polygons, we do have a couple bands in which we do get to regularly support us, but that's because they are good, they are lovely people. When other bands come up and stuff, we try and get on as many new people as possible, but I completely understand that because I'm in a bit of a clique as well down in the south, and trying to break out of that is hard because especially when your demographics overlap and you know that you'll be able to sell 100 tickets between the three of you instead of risking something else.
Sure.
And that's really sucky on our behalf as well. But
I mean, I don't blame you. I think it's difficult to, because like in my like professional job, I network like every week. I have to go to a networking event. I have to meet people in the industry, and I have to sell the service, right? And I was just like talking to my boss, and I was like, the music industry needs the exact same thing.
There was briefly an app that I saw, but I don't think it's live anymore. Where it was like Tinder for musicians, and like art, and like recording people, like session musicians.
I had this idea.
So it was a thing very briefly, but the execution was terrible. So maybe try and do it better.
I mean, I can't develop apps, but I literally had the idea where like anyone could get this app, and you're like, So like I'd be like, I am a music journalist, and then if and you put like your area, where you're willing to travel and like the distance, and you basically every month it's like, don't forget to update your calendar, and you go on your calendar and you're like, these are the nights I'm free. And then if someone's like, we need someone to review this on this day, you can go and you can view the available jobs, then be like, oh, I could totally get to Manchester on that Saturday, and you can like apply for it. And then they can review all of it and then contact you and be like, hey, come on down. And like the rate, or if a musician's like last minute, like shit, we need a stand-in drummer, you could just be like, urgent, need a stand-in drummer for Brighton tonight. About this. Yeah, I need a stand-in drummer like tonight in Brighton. Here's the place. And then like 4 drummers might be like, I'm free. And it's a risk, obviously, because you don't know if they're going to be any good. But if you've got this gig, but you'll be like, fucking get your ass down.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, shall we end on a lighter note?
Okay, I'm nervous.
Because that was the deep, big thing that it just needed to be spoken about, because it's harder and harder and harder to become a musician. It's hard out here, girl. All right. So last week, you got some emo, pop punk, rock songs, and you reworded them into a Shakespeare vibe. I've just reworded them because I'm dyslexic as hell.
Okay. I'm stressed.
I would say I think they're pretty easy to me.
I thought last month's were pretty easy.
This is true, and you have my own band in there, and I couldn't even get it. This went down pretty well on TikTok, so I hope everyone enjoys this one as well.
Okay.
Because this is all on me, and I'm very dyslexic, so hopefully this will go all right. All right, are you ready for your first one, Rosie?
If you don't understand the name of the game, Sam's reworded some song titles. I'm going to try and guess the song. The
first one is Grateful for the Recollection.
Oh, thanks for the memories.
Yeah!
Oh my God, that was stressful. Okay, good.
How do you think I felt last week, dude?
Oh my God, my palms are sweaty, knees weak.
Dude, mine are sweaty. My face is all red. You need to edit. Okay. All right, number 2. I feel like this is quite easy. This isn't a clothing declaration, but instead an expiration desire. Would you like me to say it again?
Yes, please.
This isn't a clothing declaration, but instead an expiration desire.
Well, I immediately thought this ain't a scene, it's an arms race. But how the fuck does that make sense? This isn't a clothing expiration.
This is a clothing declaration.
A what? What?
This isn't a clothing declaration, but instead an expiration desire.
What the fuck?
Would you like a hint of who the band is?
Yes, please.
It's My Chemical Romance.
Oh, this isn't a fashion statement, it's a death wish. Fuck you now. I was literally like, what the fuck?
I thought that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. That
right?
was pretty good.
Thank you. Let us know if you got that in the comments
Oh
below.
my god, that was hard. That's the second one.
To be fair, they don't get like progressively harder. I was just going through a playlist going, could you please inform me of how old I am?
What's my age again?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't go too hard. I didn't go too hard because I was worried I'd go obscure. Okay, again, another easy one I'd say. The lives of the wealthy and well-known.
The lifestyles of the rich and famous.
No.
What? Yeah?
Yeah, it was.
What the fuck? Don't do that, you knob.
You just sounded like that Peep Show quote where it was like, you absolute fuckwit, Jeremy. No Christmas turkey.
He doesn't even know any Shakespeare.
This is the last one. Are you ready, Rose? You've only used one lifeline, so you are able to use a lifeline on this one if you want as well.
I might just use it even if I know it.
I compose wrongdoings, never misfortunes.
I write sins, not tragedies.
Yeah!
That was pretty good. I would argue those are better than mine. That My Chem one caught me so off guard. You went, this isn't, and I went, a scene, an arms race.
No, I was trying to... Okay, so it was, this isn't a clothing declaration. It's not a fashion statement, but instead an expiration desire. It's a death wish. Do you know how hard it is to reword death wish? An expiration desire.
I know, I was like, that's what I was getting caught up on. I was like, an endless love, and fuck, man.
Brilliant. Well done. You did way better than me. However, I do think mine were easier.
I disagree.
Yeah, to be fair, you did include my own band.
Exactly.
One of my bands in mine, and I still took ages to get it. Big up the dyslexia.
No, big up the Disloyal Order podcast.
Yeah! What a transition!
Yeah.
I'd just like to apologise, everyone, for my big rant that probably took about 20 minutes about promotion companies. But thank you so much for listening to our second ever episode.
Tune in next month, I guess.
Yeah, tune in next month for our third episode, or on your TikTok or Instagram for little clips and reviews.
Slay.
Where can that be found? What are the handles, Rosie?
Instagram is Disloyal Order Online. I have Twitter. Honestly, I wouldn't even bother. I'm trying to get away from it. TikTok is just Disloyal Order.
Amazing. And you can find me on my new YouTube channel that I am actively posting to now, MISFIT_UK. On Instagram, it's misfit.uk. And I also have another podcast called In the Pit with Misfit.
Slay.
That is out if you want to see me talk even more.
As of right now, there's one episode out and it made me cackle. I listened to it at work and I laughed very hard.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I support my friends.
Yippee. All right. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.